So welcome to this week's coaching clinic. We're looking today at the end of hustle and the topic being living in joy. So you might be wondering, well, how do those two things go together? But really, when we're living in joy and we're living from a place of joy, the world can't help but notice. The need for hustle falls away. Experiences of struggle become unnecessary. And frankly, we just touch more of who we truly are when we're coming from that space. So we're going to talk more about this living in joy today and how that can help you to put an end to the hustle you might experience in your everyday life. I don't know what hustle might manifest as for you, but it could be anything from living your life constantly rushing to living your life where you're always trying to get to an objective and you never quite can relax until it's done, to simply living in feelings of not enoughness, whether that's in yourself personally or around business or around your career. There are elements of just not living in joy that manifest, and you'll know for you what your hustle feels like and looks like, and you don't want to judge that. You do not want to judge when you fall into that. But today I'm really wanting to explore this topic with you of living in joy rather than hustle, and to look more deeply at where that joy comes from and why it draws people and opportunity and abundance and love and clients and all sorts of things to you without you having to go hustle for those things. If it sounds too good to be true, you're definitely sitting in the right place right now. You need to be hearing this conversation, because if it sounds too easy and too good to be true, the chances are that you have not given yourself permission or the opportunity to even consider that there's another way of doing life that doesn't require you to exhaust yourself. So we'll do a little guided vision today as well to help you reconnect with your joy, because as you reconnect with that place, you'll begin to emanate that energy. And as you emanate that energy, you elicit flow. You know, you ever see people and you think, gosh, why they just have it so easy? It just looks like everything just comes to them. Well, it's not that people aren't taking action. It's that they are emanating that well-being, that joyful nature. And let's just be clear that when I talk about living in joy, I'm not talking about some hyper excited feeling. There's a difference between living in joy, living from your true nature, which is joyful and well, and living hyper excited and urgent and kind of like frenzied, like yeah. That's different, okay? Because the other end of that spectrum is you go from being really hyper excited to being completely deflated. You can't hold that level of urgent, excited energy for very long, and neither would you want to. Okay, living in joy, on the other hand, is a space that you can contain. It is a space that is contained within you and for you. And it is a space that refuels you. It doesn't exhaust you. Excitement is quite exhausting after a certain while. Living in joy is refueling. It's why I said in my email today, you know, all Jesus had to say when he was searching for his disciples was, follow me. and people dropped everything they were doing and wanted to follow him. Well, it's the same principle for you. As you're living in that feeling of well-being, as you're living in that feeling of joy versus hustle, people will literally recognize it. And they will drop what they're doing to support you, to help you, to give you encouragement, to work with you. They'll be more encouraged and enticed because ultimately they will recognize a truth in you. The reason we recognize that feeling is because we know it's our true nature. And all of us have it. It was not unique to Jesus Christ. All of us have it. Okay, all of us are made of the same God stuff. And we have the same ability to live in those feelings. And when we live there, people recognize it, people want it, people are drawn to it. And the reason for that is because they recognize their own God stuff too. No one came into this world, blinded to that higher consciousness energy. You just feel it, you just know it, you just experience it. And it's why we tend to want to be around people where we feel uplifted to our highest version, where we feel renewed after being in their company, where we feel clearer as a result of listening to them, versus being in the company of those where you walk away feeling depleted. And now what you want to really see here is that this isn't some sort of magic fairy dust, right? There isn't something that you suddenly have to do differently about yourself. This is in you. You're made of the same God stuff as everyone else and as Jesus was, to use that example. This is in you. You may not have been living in that feeling for a long time. That doesn't matter. This is still in you. And as you live in this joy more, the world can't help but notice. It is very attractive. It is why you could spend all your time reading up on how to market yourself, learning how to sell your services, and still not really get anywhere but live and hustle. Because we overestimate those intellectual abilities, and we've been taught to underestimate the very essence that is in you that draws opportunity, people, clients, love, experiences to you. So I really want to turn the conversation in that direction of you remembering that there is something far greater at work in you that is so easy and so loving and so expansive that people just can't help but want more of it because they recognize it as true. It's in them too. They might not have been living there for a long time, but man, when they see you and they experience you, suddenly they wake up to it. Who doesn't want more of that? I remember being 18 years old and I was in a pretty bad place. I was headed to university. I couldn't wait to get away from home. I was excited in many ways to be starting a fresh new life, but I was very low on myself. I had really low self-esteem. I was going through an eating disorder at the time. And I remember my father saying, let's just stop for 5 minutes at this friend's house. And I thought, oh God, the last thing I want to do is be social. But we stopped. And this woman who I'd never met before, but he knew very well, she invited us into her house and she made tea and coffee. And still to this day, her level of joy, her level of well-being that she was emanating lifted me out of my low state. I mean, I walked out of that house smiling, hopeful for my future. She painted a picture for me of how my life could be as a young woman going to university. And it was one of those moments that I still think about now, 20, 22 years later, because she wasn't trying to sell me anything. She wasn't trying to convince me of anything. She wasn't trying to set her own agenda in any way. She was just sharing stories. She was sharing stories with me about her father. She was sharing stories with me about when she went to university. But she was sharing from a place of such ease, well-being, joy. It just emanated and it enveloped me like a huge angel. It enveloped me. And in that moment, I shifted, I uplifted out of my self-concern, out of my worry, out of my low state. And I felt hope for the first time. I went on to begin to make the changes in my life that allowed me to manifest amazing experiences. It allowed me to live in deeper feelings of well-being, allowed me to enjoy my time at university, allowed me to get a boyfriend, and that was just a lovely, I think, spiritual intervention, spirit reminding me, hey, I'm here. This is what it really looks like, not the low state you're living in the whole time. Come on, let's come back up. So I felt very uplifted. And this is the power we have on one another. We can look at the world today and get extremely low about what's happening. And we can also do something about that by living and emanating from our own place of joy and well-being. From actually sending the vibration of love and divine presence into the world, into our businesses, into those whom we meet. In every moment, there is a possibility for a resurrection. And you might be needing a resurrection right now in your business, in your relationship, where your body's concerned, where your health is concerned, where your family or relationships, of friendships are concerned. Are you asking for it? Are you getting out of the way enough to allow yourself to come back to that place of joy and well-being that literally cleans up every mess? So that's what I just want to set the table with right now, in the desire, and with the desire that you would stop underestimating this very powerful divine presence in you, and that you would begin to stop overestimating the things you think you need to do in order to get ahead or feel better. Now, in today's world, I know this is a very different message, because the messages we receive are that we need to act faster, work harder, enter the hustle. We need to take more action. And it's not that action isn't required. It's that you want to be acting from a place where you've been nudged to act, not from a place where you have a gun to your head and you're living in urgency and you think if you don't act now, you're going to be in trouble. Not from that place. And again, that brings us to the conversation of recognizing when you're being nudged towards something versus when your insecure mind is getting the better of you. We call him here in the coaching clinic, Bob the drunk guy. You know, I have this analogy continuously with my clients that, you know, they have to know the difference between when wisdom is talking and when Bob the drunk is just babbling at them. And Bob the drunk, remember, he comes with feelings of tightness and urgency and criticism and hustle and difficulty. So that's how you recognize him. Wisdom, on the other hand, comes with, oh yeah, that'd be nice. Oh, I think I'll do that. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's go in that direction. Notice the difference. It doesn't come with hyper excitement or crazy criticism. It comes with a gentleness that we can rely upon. This very essence is in you. And as you begin to rely on it, begin to trust it, begin to allow it, begin to recognize it, it will end the hustle for you. You'll find yourself becoming intolerant to how you used to operate. You'll find yourself being available really just for the easiest, most expansive, most enticing experiences versus hardship and worry and stress and anxiety and everything that goes with what we've learned in our early programming. Questions at this point? Any comments, any questions, anything that you want to bring forth? Any hustle that looks way too real for you to relax about? Let me know. And you can just type a question or unmute your line. Don't worry if there's nothing coming.
Hi, Gray.
Hi. Let me spotlight my video. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, so for me, I just, it's interesting, just feeling, just going through a little bit of a lull at the moment. And yeah, just kind of feeling a lot of that, interestingly.
Uh-huh. So do you want to say more about what a lull looks like to you?
I think it's just, I just don't feel the clarity at the moment, and yeah, the focus.
Mm. Is there a specific area that you're looking for that clarity and focus, Harwinder? Or is it all areas right now that you're just feeling?
It just feels, it just feels very, like everything feels a bit much.
Uh-huh. What do you do at those times? What in those situations? What do you know works for you?
We do. I think it's just I think there's a lot going on just internally, healing and processing, and I'm just trying to allow that space for that to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's just that I'm not getting into that urgency of things, and I'm not, you know, and yeah, just really slowing everything down.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, a little on certain things.
Yeah. See, and here's what I love about, thank you so much for bringing this up, Parwinder. It's really helpful for everybody. Here's what I love about our feelings, especially feelings that are quite strong, like overwhelm or urgency or insecurity. They are wonderful, wonderful friends, letting us know we shouldn't trust what we're thinking right now. We do better to take the foot off the gas and quieten down rather than continue to speed up with more thinking. Now, I didn't know that. In the early years in my business, I thought the feelings of overwhelm and urgency were telling me something about my business going wrong. I thought the feelings of urgency and overwhelm were indicators that I better do more and do them quicker. And then I was fortunate to learn and understand that such feelings don't mean what we think they mean. They are wonderful alarm bells to how our state of mind is functioning in the moment. And a crowded, busy state of mind doesn't have clarity or focus. How can it? But a crowded, busy state of mind needs backed off, needs less, needs to chill. And some of the ways that you might help that state of mind are taking a nap, watching a movie, reading a book, if you find you can concentrate, taking a walk, engaging things that the world will tell you look lazy. Go for lazy. When you feel overwhelmed, go for lazy. When you feel urgent, go for lazy. And most of all, what we don't want to do with these strong feelings is we don't want to get into worry about ourselves. We don't want to get into worry that, oh gosh, I'm worried because I need to worry now because I don't have focus and I don't have clarity. Oh gosh. No, 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 no. See, that just compounds the state of mind and we stay where we are. As we back off, as we wake up to the truth of what our feelings are telling us, just indicators of a noisy state of mind. As we back off from all the noise internally, we naturally spring back to center because we're made of God stuff. We're made from well-being. We came into this world in well-being, and then we had to learn how to fall out of it. But we are made of that substance. So the less worried we are about how we feel, what mood we're in, whether or not we can focus or have clarity, the less worried we are about that, the easier it is to spring back to who we really are, well-being and joy. Is this making any sense to you and to Parwinder?
Yeah.
We don't want to, that's just what I keep hearing. We don't want to worry about the state we're in. It's temporary, it passes. As we fall out of a noisy state of mind, we wake up to vitality, we wake up to well-being, we wake up to clarity, we wake up to focus. Nobody has to get us out of bed in the morning. But when you're not there, you want to be gentle with yourselves. Did you want to say anything more, Pawinder?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Just be gentle, yeah? Thank you for that question, and thank you for that comment, because it helps everybody, and it draws out something we might not necessarily have been talking towards. Anybody else want to come on, ask the question, hear more? All right, well, I'll say a little bit more and we'll move into our guided visualization for today. Oh, somebody coming on? No, okay. So I wanted to say a little bit more about, oh, one sec, I need to spotlight this. Here we go. I wanted to say a little bit more about your ability to really live in this feeling of well-being and joy. And for those of you that aren't there right now, or you haven't been there for a long time, take heart. Where you are right now is an indicator of your state of mind. It is not an indicator of what's available for you. Okay? Living in a place of joy, living from a place of well-being is what naturally happens as we fall out of a lot of the habitual worry and conditioning that we have learned to live in. And it is something we've learned to live in. It's not something that is happening to us. It's something that is simply occurring through us. Thought too is a spiritual energy. How do thoughts end up in your head? Where do they come from? They're not attacking you, but rather they are a divine energy running through you. And sometimes, a bit like an elevator, they get stuck. They get stuck on a certain floor. And that floor might be, it might come with a view of criticism, or it might come with a view of judgment. It might come with a view of depression. It might come with a view of difficulty, hardship, hustle. But where you are on that floor is not indicative of who you are. It is just the spiritual energy making its way through. As you latch on to, innocently, as you latch on to the thoughts, as you get more concerned about the feeling of hustle and urgency and overwhelm, again, it compounds the issue. It doesn't give space for change to occur quickly. So you just want to notice where can I feel a little bit better? If living in joy feels like too much of a leap, where can I feel just a little bit better? And part of that might be, I'm going to let myself off the hook. I'm not going to force myself to finish things today, tomorrow, the next day. I'm not going to even attempt to start something completely new in this state of mind. I'm going to let myself off the hook and take my mind away from the feeling I'm in. Now, again, a bit like in my story earlier, I met this woman and her presence just lifted me out of my low state. And I'd been living there for so long that it had escalated into all sorts of problems. Her presence was just so present and so easy and so in well-being and joy that it reminded me of who I really am. She didn't have to teach me anything. She didn't have to sell me anything. She didn't have to tell me anything. She was just sharing her energy and her stories. Let that be hopeful to you. If you're out there as a teacher, a healer, a coach, a practitioner, a mentor, a service-based profession, whatever, if you're out there working with humans, which I think we all are, this should feel hopeful to you, that your presence is enough, that you are made of the same God stuff as everybody else, and that you just simply letting that be enough and sharing yourself from there has impact. More than your words, more than your fancy marketing, more than your brilliant websites, your presence. This is why I said earlier, this is in you. This is in you. So let's do our little vision now and reconnect to that presence. Or if you are already feeling really strongly present in that at this time in your life, wonderful, let's go deeper. Let's move it up a notch. And just in this visualization, you want to set the intention to connect with that joy and well-being, to drop out of the worry, the doubt, the insecurity, the fear, the self-concern. As you set intention, things manifest. This is one thing I've learned over and over again. It's like, if we're wishy-washy, the universe is like wishy-washy with us. But on the days that, you know, you actually wake up and you said, this is what I want to happen today. This is the direction I want to see emerge today. And you're steady in that, that intention yields a result. It brings it forward. One of the things I've been saying lately as an intention as I wake up is, everywhere I go, people are looking for ways to make my life easier and more comfortable. And I go to the supermarket today and it's packed. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what was I thinking to come here at this time of day? And there's a queue, there's so many queues. And I just happen to be like at the back of the line. I think Italians don't know how to queue. So there's like 3 different lines going in different directions. But guess what happened? Where I ended up, they opened a new checkout. And because Italians don't queue, it wasn't like, excuse me, the person over there is first. No, I was next in line because I happened to be standing there. Everywhere I go, people are always trying to make my life easier and more comfortable. So you want to set your intention in this vision, in any vision we do, and at the beginning of your day, and let spirit yield it towards you. Because trust me, it happens. It works. And as you're less wishy-washy about living in joy, living in well-being, you'll be living there more of the time. Not because your circumstances suddenly improved, but because you are completely in alignment with who you are and what's available to you. So let's close our eyes. Placing our feet on the ground firmly. Take a deep breath in. In through the nose and out. Always a little bit longer on the exhale. In through the nose and out. One more. In through the nose and out. Take a moment to set your intention for what clarity you would also like from today's vision. And now see roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to a rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. See golden light emanating from the rock. Up through the roots, through the underground, through the ground, through your floorboards, and up through your feet. Just see this golden light now circling the feet. Golden light of your true nature, of your divine essence. Letting yourself be in the flow of this beautiful energy, this God stuff that you're made of. See the light now moving up from the ankles, up through the shins and the back of the calves, to the kneecaps, circling the kneecaps. This golden energy now moving up through the thighs, the back of the thighs, into the hip bones, up into the body, the torso, up into the back. See it going through the spine, up, right up to the top of the spine. And at the front of the body, up through the chest, through the neck, through the face, up to the head, down the back of the head, out through the hair, down through the shoulders, down through the arms, out through the lower arms, the fingertips, then right the way out. And you're just completely encircled now in this gorgeous golden light, this divine love that is you, this divine love that people recognize in you, this divine love that does the healing and the processing for you as you simply focus on things that you prefer and enjoy. This divine love is just completely and utterly in love with you, wants the best for you, is looking for ways to make life less hustle for you. Your only job is to let it. And as you experience that divine love, just feel what it's like to be there. Feel its power, its protection, its beauty, its grace. Let it envelope you. And in your mind's eye, just see a beautiful body of water. Could be a lake, could be a pool, could be the sea. And this body of water holds cleansing energies. Walk towards it. And gently let yourself go into it. You won't drown. You'll simply let yourself be washed of all insecurities, all doubts, all overwhelm, all worry, all hustle energy, all urgency, all fear. If you can, let yourself go right under the water and come up and out with wet hair. Cleansed of anything that's getting in the way of you living in joy. Feel yourself renewed as you exit the water now, miraculously dry, the sun beaming down, warming you. The golden energy still enveloping you. And place your hand on your heart in your mind's eye. You can do it physically if you prefer. And ask now, dear God, dear Spirit, dear Source, dear whatever you believe in, what would you have me do about? And get your answer. Always trust what comes to you first. And there may be nothing for you to do, but you can use that question daily in this meditative space or on paper. Now see yourself with your arms wide open, facing the water and the sun beaming down, and repeat to yourself 3 times, I am open and receptive to returning to joy. I am open and receptive to returning to joy. I am open and receptive to returning to joy. And make your prayer now to whatever you have a deep connection with. Make your prayer that you will experience that level of joy and well-being in the coming minutes, moments, hours, days. You decide. But make your prayer that source gets on the case. The person who has divine presence as their ally will never be without. Make this relationship with this divine love and presence the most important relationship in your life, the most important part of your day, the most important connection in your business, the most important counsel and advisory team or advisor in your decisions. And you will not do without. You will not go without, and you will not make decisions that end in regret. Now let's see roots coming from our feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to a rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. Feeling yourself grounded, feeling yourself here and now. Take a breath in, longer breath on the out, on the exhale. Take a breath in, longer breath on the exhale. And one more time. And just gently open your eyes. If there's anything you want to write down, do so now. And just shake as well, just before you write or after you write, whatever feels important to do first, just shake your hands, just shake your arms, your hands, your head. Just bring yourself back. Just allow yourself to be here, feeling the energy of what you've just experienced. Feel free to write a comment in the box if you want to express anything after that. Okay. So everybody, I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to share a little bit more about what's coming up, what we can do together if you'd like to. If you're absolutely not interested, I understand, you can leave the call. But if you are curious and you want to hear a bit more, I'm just going to share a couple of ways I am currently working with clients. One of which is ending at the end of the month. So I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I've had for the last while an opportunity to work with me on a one-off session. So that's still available until March 31st. If you would like to just use one session to get very focused, to get help and clarity and direction, to have a deeper spiritual connection with your own soul. And if there's something in particular you want to work on, whether that's around your business, how you're communicating what you do, your value, how you're showing up on social media, if there's anything practical that can be explored too in that session. So those sessions are really for those of you that would just like a one-off experience. You got something that you want to bring to the table and you want to deal with it in one go. All right. So until March 31st, you can do that with me. You can email gracefulcoaching@gmail.com. And just we'll then send you a PayPal. Those sessions are currently at half price, £175, $250. So get in touch if that interests you. My other note and news is, and I'm going to put my Mexican hat on for this. Some of you will have seen that I am going to Mexico. And I'm really looking forward to this trip. I feel it's divinely inspired. I feel like it's just a sense of aliveness that has been calling me from the divine love and presence. And I am opening an opportunity for you to meet me there for some coaching. So if you would like to spend a day together, one-to-one in person, and you want to go deep on things around, again, your life, your business, maybe you're trying to find clarity right now on your next steps. Maybe you're looking at how you can hone things in your career or your business in such a way that you're not working from a place of hustle all the time. Maybe you're just trying to contemplate life decisions like the man you're with or the location you're living in. We can spend our coaching time together getting you super clear on the right action for you, tuning into your wisdom so that you really recognize the difference between that and everything else, and just exploring more deeply the essence of your divinity, your divine energy that literally will help you manifest what you want, will help you move the needle forward in all areas, and that will draw opportunities, possibilities, love, romance, clients, all of the external will draw it to you without you having to make a lot of sacrifice and effort. If living in alignment is essential to you, you know, if that's something you're keen on experiencing more deeply, then exploring that and spending time together in this way is definitely an option that will just really take care of you. And we're going to do that in the supportive energy of Mexico. So you can join me in Mexico City either on April 13th, or you can join me by the sea in the resort of Playa del Carmen, April 23rd or 24th. If you'd like to explore that option of sitting down in person and having our coaching time, and then having cocktails and dinner together that evening, get in touch, send me an email, and we'll set up a time to talk. Those are no obligation calls, by the way. You know, you can get on that call and decide, Grace, actually, I've changed my mind. That's not for me. I'd like to do something else. So just feel free to reach out if travel and aliveness and something new is speaking to you. It's certainly speaking to me. Getting out of isolation, getting out of the uncomfortable comfort zone, and doing something fresh, which I find just always elicits great creativity and great change and great vitality and energy. So I look forward to hearing from you if either of those two options are calling you. And I will be back with you next week, not in my Mexican hat, but, you know, headdress, but I'll be back with you next week with another topic. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you for being here today. And remember, you can email gracefulcoaching@gmail.com. Lots of love. Oh, thank you, Dominica. I love this affirmation. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Remember, make up your intentions and your own. Make up what's important to you. put them into words and speak life into them all. Fantastic. Have I got a message? Hold on. Sorry, ladies, I'm only seeing these coming through now. Thank you, thank you. I feel a really lovely connection with my soul. Oh, fantastic, Sonia. Grace, this is beautiful, and how you embody it powerful. Thank you, Dorothy. All right, lovelies. Take care. See you next week. Ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.